Right now, while you're watching this, there's a good chance your body is quietly flashing a warning light, and you've probably mistaken it for something else. Not sickness, not injury, just off, tired for no reason, snapping at people you love, bruising like a peach. Here's the unsettling part. Doctors say some of these deficiencies affect tens of millions of Americans, and most never get diagnosed because the symptoms look like everyday life instead of a medical chart. By the end of this video, you'll be able to read 8 of those lights yourself. Let's start with the one hiding in plain sight. Literally, in the sky, the sunshine switch. Vitamin D. Quick myth to bust. Sunlight is free, so deficiency in a sunshine vitamin shouldn't even be possible. Reality? It's one of the most common deficiencies in the entire country. Here's the twist. Vitamin D isn't really a vitamin, it's a hormone. Your skin manufactures it on contact with sunlight, like a solar panel wired straight into your bones. Remote work, sunscreen, and office life have quietly unplugged that panel for millions of people, especially anyone north of the Sun Belt during winter. And the consequences aren't just feeling tired. Left uncorrected long enough, low vitamin D is linked to weaker bones and an immune system running under-resourced. Your body's security system operating on a skeleton crew. Even Michael Jordan, at the peak of elite physical conditioning, has spoken about correcting a vitamin D deficiency during his career. If it can sneak past an athlete whose entire job was knowing his own body, it can absolutely sneak past you. Here's the wild part, correcting it doesn't take months. Most people describe the shift in energy within weeks, like someone finally flipped the panel back on. But sunlight isn't the only thing modern life has quietly cut from your diet. The next light runs almost entirely on animal products, and a lot of well-meaning healthy eaters are draining it without knowing. The vegan blind spot, vitamin B12, picture this. You've cut out red meat, you're eating clean, your Instagram is full of smoothie bowls, and you're more exhausted and foggy than you've ever been. That's not a discipline failure. That's B12. Here's the wait, what fact. B12 is found almost exclusively in animal products. No meat, eggs, or dairy means your supply line can quietly run dry. And it's one of the only nutrients on this list where the healthier your diet looks, the higher your risk can actually be. B12 builds red blood cells and maintains the insulation around your nerves. Think of it as the protective coating on an electrical wire. Strip that coating away and signals misfire, brain fog, tingling hands, memory lapses that feel like static on a phone line. Ignore it long enough, and that static can become permanent nerve damage, which is the part almost nobody warns you about. Paul McCartney and Ellen DeGeneres, both long-term vegetarians, have spoken about needing to monitor this exact nutrient. Fixing it, though, is almost absurdly simple. A supplement, weeks, and the fog lifts. Your brain runs on B12. But your body's battery runs on something almost every stressed-out American is draining faster than they can refill it. The stress battery drain, magnesium. Your leg won't stop twitching. Your eye keeps doing that thing. You're lying in bed exhausted but somehow wired. Sound familiar? That's not just stress. That's a battery light. Magnesium powers over 300 chemical reactions in your body, muscle relaxation, nerve signaling, even how well you sleep. Here's the cruel twist. Stress burns through magnesium faster, which drains the exact mineral your body needs to calm down. It's a leak feeding the fire that caused it. Modern soil depletion and processed food have made this one of the most common shortfalls in the American diet, meaning you could be eating enough food and still running on empty. Ignored long-term, chronic low magnesium has been linked to disrupted sleep and heightened anxiety. A nervous system stuck in a low-grade state of alarm day after day. The good news? Of everything on this list, magnesium is often the fastest to feel. Some people notice calmer sleep within days of correcting it. If magnesium is your battery, our next light controls something even more fundamental: whether oxygen can actually get where it's going. The silent fatigue thief, iron. 8 hours of sleep. Still feel like you're wading through wet concrete. Before you blame Netflix or your mattress, check this one. Iron builds hemoglobin, the molecule that carries oxygen through your bloodstream to every cell in your body. Run low, and it's not that you're weak, it's that your entire body is quietly rationing oxygen, like a phone stuck in low power mode. This one disproportionately affects women, especially those with heavy menstrual cycles, making it one of the most common nutrient gaps among U.S. women of reproductive age and one of the most frequently missed on a routine checkup. Left unaddressed, severe iron deficiency can progress into anemia, pale skin, shortness of breath, a heart working overtime just to keep oxygen moving. Not something to shrug off as just being busy. The reframe that matters here: your fatigue was never a character flaw. It was chemistry. Iron carries oxygen to your bones. But the next light decides whether your body actually puts that calcium where it belongs. The calcium paradox, vitamin K2. Here's a plot twist. You can drink milk, pop calcium supplements religiously, do everything right, and still be setting yourself up for a problem down the road. The missing piece is vitamin K2, arguably the most slept-on nutrient in America, mostly because it lives in fermented foods that never made it into the standard US diet. Think of K2 as a traffic cop for calcium. Without it, calcium doesn't necessarily go where you want it, your bones and teeth. It can end up misdirected into soft tissue instead, including your arteries. Researchers have linked this pattern to arterial stiffening over time, though it's still an active area of study. That means the stakes here aren't cosmetic. This is a nutrient quietly connected to long-term cardiovascular health, decades before you'd ever notice a symptom. While K2 directs traffic in your bloodstream, our next light directs something happening entirely inside your skull. The mood vitamin crash, vitamin B6. Ever snap at someone you love over something that 10 seconds later felt embarrassingly small? Before you call it just a bad day, your brain might be short on raw materials. B6 is a direct ingredient your brain uses to manufacture serotonin and dopamine, the chemicals responsible for mood stability. No B6, no supply chain, no stable mood. Certain medications, alcohol, and diets low in poultry, fish, or chickpeas can quietly dim this light for months without a single physical symptom to warn you, which is exactly why it's one of the most misdiagnosed items on this entire list. Often mistaken for a personality trait instead of a nutrient gap. Correct it. And people frequently describe it less like feeling happier, and more like their emotional volume knob finally got turned back down to normal. B6 keeps your mood online. But the next light controls a sense you've probably never even thought to blame. Taste and smell. The immune off switch, zinc. You know that one coworker who catches every single cold that goes around the office? It might not be bad luck. It might be a switch stuck in the off position. Zinc acts like a security guard for your immune cells, helping them multiply and coordinate the moment a threat shows up. Even mild deficiency, common with restrictive diets or high alcohol intake, can leave that security team understaffed. Here's the wait what fact. Zinc doesn't just affect immunity. Some research links low zinc to a duller sense of taste and smell, since your taste buds rely on it to regenerate. Left unchecked for years, chronically low zinc has been associated with slower wound healing and more frequent infections. Small inconveniences that quietly compound the upside. Correcting zinc is one of the cheapest, fastest fixes on this entire list. Which brings us to the final light, one so infamous it used to sink entire fleets of ships, modern-day scurvy, vitamin C. You'd assume vitamin C deficiency died out in the 1700s along with pirate ships. It didn't. It just got quieter. Full-blown scurvy is rare in the US today, but mild, chronic vitamin C insufficiency is surprisingly common, especially among people living on processed food with little fresh produce, which describes a large share of the modern American plate. Vitamin C builds collagen, the protein literally holding your skin, gum, and blood vessels together. Run low, and the tells are subtle. Bleeding gums when you floss, bruises that appear from nowhere, cuts that take longer to close. Here's your history. Wait, what? British sailors were nicknamed limeys after the Royal Navy started issuing citrus to prevent this exact deficiency. One of the earliest documented nutrition breakthroughs in history, centuries before biohacking existed. Unlike some lights on this dashboard, this one responds fast, often within days of adding citrus, peppers, or leafy greens back into rotation. 8 lights, 1 dashboard. And the wild part is most people will go their entire lives never learning to read a single one, treating exhaustion, mood swing, and bleeding gums as just how life feels now instead of a signal their body is sending in plain sight. So which light hit closest to home for you? Drop it in the comments. Chances are you're not the only one whose dashboard has been blinking. And if you want more of your body's hidden warning system decoded like this, subscribe, because this dashboard has a lot more lights we haven't switched on yet.